What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Thursday. It's November 24th, 2022. Had to double check. It's Thanksgiving here in America. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. How are you? Good morning. It is the day that we eat all the food and make the rest of the world confused. Good morning to Mark, Brian, Kelly, Stacy, Denise, and all the rest of you, whether you're watching live later or listening. No, not listening. We don't do that one. Live or later. It must be a holiday because Denise is here. The only time we see Denise is on a holiday. I hope you are well. I hope you're all well. Pardon me as I'm also checking my phone. Had a question for Julius about today's episode, so we're just sending a couple messages about it. How was your Wednesday? What are your plans for today? If you did something cool yesterday, something you want to celebrate, something you just want to tell people about, something you need support on, let us know in the chat. Otherwise, I want to know two things about today, because let's face it, most of our audience is American. What are you doing today for Thanksgiving? Who are you going to be with? Where are you traveling, if anywhere? Or where have you traveled, if you've already traveled? And what are you most excited to eat? Over the last couple days on Facebook, I've done a couple posts. What is your least favorite Thanksgiving side? And the consensus was green bean casserole, which I don't mind green bean casserole. But the second place vote was something I find absolutely vile. Pearled onions and cream sauce. My mother used to make those pearled onions. She liked them. Ugh. I don't even know if I ate them. They just looked vile. It just things that just, ugh. And then the second post that I put up on Facebook, in what order do you attack your Thanksgiving meal? What foods do you eat first? What do you eat last? And that was all over the place. I found that really interesting. Now, there were two people who said they put a little bit of everything on their fork at the same time, and I just can't agree with that. I just can't get behind that. It doesn't seem right. It seems wrong. I don't know why. I can understand, sometimes this plus this is pretty good, turkey and gravy, turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes, whatever. But all of it together? Ugh. Good morning, Gad. Good morning, Jenny. Mark says he's going to eat and sleep. Well, that's a pretty good plan. I don't think you're alone in that. Good morning, Nathan. Dennis says, love that sweatshirt. Getting that color next. Woo! If you are, this is the version 2 of the university sweatshirt. And if you look closely here, I'll get closer. You can probably see there's a little bit of color contrast in there to make the ink pop. Just a little bit of black. And it comes in, what is it? Green, blue. There's a soft pink. I think there's a gray. I think those are the colors. I think there are 5 colors. That may have just been 4. I don't remember. It's on the website. You guys are hysterical. So Dennis said up above here, happy Thanksgiving, Whistle Kick family. And if you listen very closely, you will hear no Thanksgiving music. I'm calling it. It's officially Christmas season. And Jenny later on says, I don't know. I'm going to be surrounded by plenty of turkeys today. Some might even be here in this chat. And Dennis loves green bean casserole. So that's all we really need to know. Best of the best. Christmas starts in July, and he likes green bean casserole. But despite that, I love the man dearly. Good morning, Andy. What else we got here? Stacy's going to listen to Alice's Restaurant at least twice. I feel like you brought this up last year on Thanksgiving. I don't remember what it is. Denise is going to be cooking and watching both varieties of football. Oh, you guys make me so happy. Brian, that's Dennis. Oh, it comes in blue, indigo, military green. That's this. Sport gray and pink. Okay, 4 colors. Brian's plans: turkey day at home with the missus and our littles, the ladies' mom, dad, sister, and partner, and her niece. My dad at some point eat all of the yummies. Also need to bring the rest of our pellet delivery into the basement. Did a pallet last night. A little sore now. Ha. Jenny's making a few side dishes this morning and heading to her dad's, for dinner. Be bringing her own food because of her dietary issues, but still looking forward to eating every blessed thing. Gad says, seems like all this food is just a bit too much, like Christmas dinner. We eat more than our bodies actually need. We haven't had a traditional Christmas dinner in years. We usually eat Taiwanese hot pot and no leftovers. You know, I think a lot about evolution, evolutionary biology, how we got to where we are societally, physically, etc. I find that interesting. Probably no surprise to you. So one of the things that I think about periodically, and I'm thinking about this time of year, imagine not having much, having, enough to live on, and then the feeling of having more than you needed. The idea of going from, okay, we're rationing our food to we're going to have one meal that we're just going to celebrate and we're going to go nuts. How much would you look forward to that? That would be incredible. And I suspect that was part of the tradition. Now, of course, we've lost it because we live in a time where nearly everyone has enough food. Maybe it's not the best food, but people in Western culture rarely die of starvation. Kelly is going to see her parents with her kids and Andy. Haven't seen her son since June, even though he's 20 minutes away. He's a full-time farmer now, such a hard worker. Oh, that's awesome. I love the fact that we're here in Vermont specifically. I can't speak to the rest of the country. We have so many younger people buying farms. I don't know what it is now, but as of a couple of years ago, the average age of a dairy farmer was like 67. Vermont dairy farmer. So we need younger people to, make food. Otherwise, we're all going to starve. Dennis is going to the in-laws. They're great people, though their daughter is a bit shady. And Jenny loves green bean casserole. The onion topping, have to make extra because they're basically thin onion rings and they are delish. Well, I think it's the cream of mushroom soup, right? Like that's what most people do for green bean casserole. It's the wet, it's the liquid in with the food that I think many of us struggle with. Oh. Kelly's son is working with his dad and will be the 6th generation running the farm. That is awesome. That's so cool. I know how much joy I get out of growing, a little bit of food here for me, but the idea of growing enough food that I could share it with other people. And I try, I do, I got a pile of squash in there and I give some out to people, but yeah. Oh, really cool. Yeah. Jenny says, yes, she makes that soup from scratch. You have to do it right or it comes out slimy. She does it right. Stacy's having a very quiet day at home, just her, totally by choice, thankful for all my friends and also thankful for quiet. And I think it's important to know what you need. Holidays can be so stressful for some of us, for many of us, because we feel obligated. We feel like we have to do these things that we don't want to do. And I'm looking at my celery over there being very sad. I'll water it. I have to water plants this morning. And I get it because I've had plenty of times where I feel obligated to be here or there. And It's not my choice. It's not how I want to spend my time. But we make the best of it, right? Good morning, Lisa. Lisa says, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. I've been cooking all night long and now the turkey's in the oven. My dog already ate my blueberry pie. Oh my God. Oh no. That's a trip. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to be spending some time with some folks that I know quite well. I've been doing holidays with them for probably 10, 15 years. And at some point, the dog will eat something. Every time. So I love these people. I really do. I call them mom and dad. But somehow, they still continue to leave things on the counter, near the edge of the counter, where the dog can get it. So there will undoubtedly be something. It'll be, it might be after the meal. It may not be before the meal, but we've definitely lost entire cakes and pies and things to the dog. And it's happening because one of them will walk into the kitchen and you just hear screaming at the dog. And then the dog goes in the kennel for the rest of the day. It happens every time. This has happened for a decade. Every family meal. Every time. Cat says, before we had dogs, I didn't know that they were so fast. And I thought cats were sneaky. Yeah. The difference is cats know what they're doing is wrong and they do it anyway. Dogs are so driven by their instincts. This is a hound. And I really think this dog just can't control its impulses. Really do. And I feel bad because it's like we're tempting the dog. So I do my best to keep an eye on the dog. It's like, no, stop. Don't do that. Well, I do want to start here. We're going to, Frank sent over some more quotes coming out of Native American History Month that we'll read and see how they apply to martial arts. Thank you to him. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. But I want to just express some gratitude to all of you. Whistlekick has grown tremendously in the last year. The events that we've done, the things that we offer, and so many of you in the chat are responsible for some of these things. And if we look at that continued growth, it's incredibly exciting. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep cranking along until it all works. It is working, but it doesn't quite work yet. I had expected that we were going to finish the year profitable, and that didn't happen. We're not going to be as far off as we've been in past years. We're getting there. But we've got some amazing plans moving forward. Some stuff I'm really stoked about. Good morning to you, Josh. I love that so many of you are here. So many of you, I suspect, woke up for this because it's part of your routine. And I'm glad that I'm part of your routine. I'm glad that you are part of my routine. All right. And we're sharing this. And here it comes. And here it is. November is still Native American Heritage Month. If anything at all, perfection is not when there is nothing to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Maria Tallchief. When we think about things that are perfect, we all have different definitions and probably examples. But when I think of something that's perfect, it also carries an air of elegance for me. If I think of a perfect piece of jewelry, a perfect car, a perfect form. They're all elegant. They're understated. They present themselves in a way that is both bold and yet not over the line. When I think of things that are perfect, I don't come up with many examples. Cars, like certain cars from the 60s, there's a simplicity to them that I really like. And that is kind of justified in this quote, right? What do we take away? We don't generally get to perfection by adding. We take away things that don't need to be there, things that are unnecessary. And we live in a society that is just constantly bombarding us with messages of complexity. How much are you all talking about appreciating simplicity? Smaller family gatherings, being by yourself sometimes. The things that are of most value are the things that don't require so much attention. They just kind of are. Is that making sense? Are we on the same page? What do you think? What do you think about perfection? What does perfection look like within our training? Of course, we're never going to get there with it, but there are moments. You can watch someone who's incredibly competent, whether they perform a form or they spar, they demonstrate a technique. They all make it look easier than it is, which is tricky, right? It looks simple, but it's not. But that mere presentation of something that appears simpler than it is, again, the word I go back to is elegance, but it takes us in the direction of perfect. Oh, you guys are funny. With regard to waking up for the show, Stacy says, I will admit to waking up and planning on going back to bed. Kelly says, yep, set the alarm for 6:15, even though I could have slept in. Brian had fears he overslept and missed the show. Turned over and saw the clock actually said just after 5, not 9, like I imagined. You guys are a trip. Next. A single twig breaks, but the bundle of twigs is strong. Tecumseh. I think it is so easy for so many of us to feel the need to do the things that we do independently, to struggle to accept help, to have a difficult time asking for support. I was just as bad as anyone at this, but I'm in recovery. I'm willing to ask for help now. And some of that has come from many of you forcing your help upon me and me seeing the positive impact that came with it. I cannot imagine Free Training Day Northeast this year without Andrew. There's no way it would have been there. There's no way it would have happened. There's no way it would have been profitable. None of those things would have happened without the assistance. And when I think of so many of you and all the things you're doing, this is part of why I'm so appreciative, because I've learned something. It's been a growing education, but specifically over the last year, as I've really connected the dots and realized, okay, we've built something people want to be part of, and I need to allow them and even ask them to be part of it if it seems like it's appropriate. And Denise is already back in bed with the puppy. Josh says he's thankful for this show, helping him get up in the morning to work out as opposed to staying up late when it didn't always happen. I'm thankful for this community that you started, Jeremy, and we have created. I am thankful for my Kicks and Flicks colleagues as we muddle through Bruce Lee's funeral footage and Seagal doing tricep extensions with the worst form imaginable. Thank you all. I love it. Detta says, I know I've shared this here before, but it's worth repeating. There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point? Pam from The Office. And Gad says, perfect is only in the moment when something works, when your counter matched the attack, for instance. At that moment, it was perfection. Lots of times it can't or won't be recreated. But there will be other instances when something else was perfect in that moment. But if you don't practice diligently, those moments will probably never come. I'd agree. We are stronger together. This is one of the unique and interesting things for me about martial arts is that while we're growing independently, while we practice on our own, our skill development in class is our own, there's something so deeply rooted in the group structure, such that very few people prefer training solo. Most of us prefer training with a good group. Now, there could be a bad group and you'd rather train solo than that, but most of us would rather train with other people. There's something about that, even for those of us who are kind of shy or independent or introverted. We still see the value and have a preference in group training. It says something. We are stronger together in every way. I'll repeat it. I say it often, repeating it for myself as much as anything else. There's an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I spent some time going fast, but now I'd rather go far. And you're all along with me for the ride. All right, we got one more here. I shall always fight good and hard, even if I have to fight alone. Susan LaFlèche-Picard. I don't know who that is. I shall always fight good and hard, even if I have to fight alone. Sometimes we have to stay to our convictions. Sometimes we're the only one that can do the job. Sometimes we have to get out front and lead. Sometimes you have a crazy idea for a company and nobody thinks it'll work. And all the potential investors pretty much laugh at you and tell you that your numbers don't make sense and that you won't get there and they're not interested. And yet the people who do martial arts look at what you're doing and say, this makes total sense. I hope you succeed. And I look forward to one day going back to some of these people, although I won't have to go back to them. They'll show up and they'll want to invest or take credit or ride coattails or something. And I'll say, no, you had your shot. You didn't believe in me. There are plenty of people. There are people even in the martial arts that I can already see it coming. We'll try doing that. You're welcome. You're welcome to attend events. I'm not spending any time on you. You had your chance. What we do is for everyone. But that doesn't mean I'm bringing everyone in to the middle to work on it, to reap the benefits. Well, thank you, Denise. Denise says, I believe in you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And I suspect most of you do. Brian says, I love that this gathering is part of my routine in the morning. It's a shared moment I look forward to daily. Weekends are weird without it. I understand. I really do. And that last quote, Jenny says, and sometimes by fighting alone, it gives others the courage to stand up and join you. Somebody's got to be first. All right. So here's what's going on. Tomorrow, Black Friday, great deals on the at-home training programs. And I think that's it through the weekend. There might be something more on Sunday. I don't remember. But as I promised yesterday, if there's something you want to grab, especially if it's going to be a gift for someone else and you're not sure of timing, get it now and then watch the sales and I will refund whatever difference you would have had if you'd bought it at the quote right time. Okay. That's an offer for those of you who watch this show. And many of you know sometimes I miss adding the free shipping to things, and you order something and then all of a sudden you get a refund for $3.99 or $5.99 or whatever. Yep, that's why. And then I fix it. I always take care of that. Brian, I'm still waking up. Maybe. Thank you, Josh. Josh says, yes, we believe. F those other people. Those. Kelly says, I remember you just starting out with the gear. Yep. I thought that's what we were going to be. I thought we were going to be a products company. We still sell gear. I struggle to get it from the factory. What do we know? 2 weeks since I asked them for a quote. What's probably happening is they're probably making it and ignoring my request for a quote. That's what they usually do. They did that last time. I'll get an email in like another week saying, hey, we're ready to ship. And I'll say, but it told you to give me a price first to make sure we're on the same page. Oh, yeah, sorry. You guys are a trip. I love you all. I really do. And I'm so thankful for this group. It's no secret that I'm a bit of an introvert. You know, I live alone in the woods. The woods. I'm gesturing to the woods. But starting my day with all of you works really well for me. I don't feel alone. I feel social. And I know you all find value in it because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. So that makes me really happy. If you are in the Patreon, we have a hangout tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. You're welcome to join. If you're not in the Patreon, you can still get in. $2. $2 will get you. Excuse me. $2 will get you in the door. And I hope to see some of you later. All right. Have a great day. Eat wonderful food. Hang out with great people. Take naps. Watch movies. Whatever it is that makes you happy today, do it. Please do it. I'll see you tomorrow for a Friday and jokes. Black Friday. No, that doesn't sound right. We're not going to do that again. Take care, everybody. Peace.